On April 16th, 2025, inside of a McCollom County courtroom in the state of Texas, 37-year-old Cody Wayne McCollum, formerly of Princeton, was found guilty of numerous sexual assault charges of a child by a McCollom County jury. He was sentenced to over 60 years in state prison for drugging, grooming, and repeatedly SAing a 14-year-old girl. What made this case polarizing and caught mass media attention was the fact that Cody Wayne McCollum was not only a U.S. Army veteran, he was also a made member of the ABT, also known as the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas.
They call themselves the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, the ABT, considered one of the most dangerous gangs in the state with roots inside the walls of the Texas prison system.
I think the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas today is arguably the most violent white supremacist prison gang out there.
The ABT modeled itself after a California-based prison gang called the Aryan Brotherhood, who were the subject of this National Geographic documentary.
While most gangs seek safety in numbers, the Aryan Brotherhood remains an exclusive crew. Only the most cunning and ruthless convicts may enter the brand's privileged ranks.
Inmates in Texas asked the Aryan Brotherhood for permission to start a Texas chapter, but the Southern Poverty Law Center says they were denied membership. We don't know why, but it didn't seem to matter. Authorities say the ABT followed the California model.
It is said to be one of the gangs that live by the blood in, blood out code, meaning that you can only get into ABT by carrying out some kind of attack. And similarly, or so it's said, you can only leave in a body bag.
And like the larger Aryan Brotherhood movement, authorities say the ABT's main purpose turned from protecting whites in prison to criminal activities like drugs, extortion, and murder. And its reach began to extend outside the prison walls as more members served out their sentences. ABT members on parole are required not only to remain loyal to the gang, but also to recruit new members.
Brutal beatings, firebombings, drug trafficking, and murder are all part of ABT's alleged standard operating procedures.
Last November, 34 alleged members of the ABT were indicted on federal racketeering charges. More than half of the alleged gang members were operating outside of prison.
The Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, as one can well imagine from the name, absolutely has a white supremacist ideology. But the bottom line is that at the end of the day, these organizations are really fundamentally criminal enterprises. That means, above all, their interest is in green, in money. Skin color comes long after that.
Prosecutors say there are more than 2,000 ABT members in Texas, 2,000 members who have pledged to unconditionally follow the orders of their gang leaders, orders that authorities say include violence and murder. Deborah Fayrick, CNN.
It's supposed to be a brotherhood. That's what it started out to be.
The Aryan Brotherhood of Texas was formed in the Texas prison system in the early 1980s.
We were seeing our own kind punked out, treated like bitches. White folks didn't stick together. We stuck with our own inside. And of course, anything you have inside any gang, you're going to get out. You know, when you get out, a couple of you get together and you start doing this and that, and it grew. It was all about business. Drugs, prostitution, sold a lot of drugs, a lot of females. We were up and down 35. If you ran up 35, pulled in one of them motels, you bought anything extracurricular, money went in my pocket.
It wasn't uncommon to have really about $70,000 a week in cash.
They had a constitution which essentially laid out everything that this particular group does in terms of the rank structure, in terms of what their beliefs are, in terms of everything from what happens when someone is disciplined to what doesn't happen when someone is disciplined. They have different levels of discipline.
Back in the day, we would get tattoos of our shield. If you didn't held up, when you got eggs back then, I'd come peel your patch off of you. So if you've got it tattooed on you, you can imagine I'm going to skin a chunk of your side.
Robberies, pounds of methamphetamine going up and down I-20, credit card fraud, it's all murders, obviously. It's kidnapping. They talk about kidnapping between each other like it's nothing. Like having somebody in the closet is nothing to them. Murder, if it's ordered, it's nothing to these guys. They're so loyal. And I think that's the scariest part, is how loyal they are, and you don't cross them.
Get in, Georgia.
Violence to each other, mostly a lot to each other. They would keep picking each other off one by one.
Clearly, they're a very violent group, and in order to instill discipline within the organization, they need to ensure that they can go out and commit violence against each other.
Look at me. Oh, yes, sir. I want to tell you something. Oh, yes, sir. You hear me? Yes, sir. If you ever say Aryan Brotherhood of Texas or Colorado, yes, we'll kill you.
So they use that to kind of set an example for others that are thinking about perhaps swaying or straying from their blind faith commitment to the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. A blind faith commitment is a document that a prospect signs stating, in fact, that he is going to be a member of the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, and it's a commitment that you take for life. There was a homicide in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Breonna Taylor in 2006.
She was tortured, and ultimately she was dismembered and put in a plastic bathtub filled with Quikrete and dumped in Lake Ray Hubbard.
There was no way. Things got so carried away. There was no way she could. Once things got out of hand, it was the only way it could end.
When we all were briefed on this particular homicide from the folks from Dallas, we all knew that something had to be done about the ABT after hearing what happened to Breonna Taylor. In the summer of 2008, I was targeting an armed career criminal who we believed was providing silencers and firearms to the Bandito outlaw motorcycle gang. In the course of executing a search warrant at this individual's residence, we obtained a number of different firearms, and in doing so, he was looking at a mandatory prison sentence of 15 years or more. It wasn't long before he decided he wanted to cooperate with us, and in doing so, he said that not only did he know some leaders within the Bandito outlaw motorcycle gang, but he also knew the general of the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. One of the things that the ABT would typically do every month is they would hold what they call church meetings. And in these church meetings, what would occur is they would discuss their criminal activity, they would collect dues for the organization, and they would discuss gang business.
A big part of this case was built on the development and cultivation of confidential informants.
Someone would become a CI for multiple reasons. Maybe they're pending charges, for one, and the other reason is some do it for financial reasons. So a confidential informant, if he's actually in these church meetings, could do a number of different things. One, he can record what was happening, and secondly, he can come back. If he wasn't recording, he could tell us exactly what was being said by the leaders within the organization.
Kicked in my hotel room door, charged me with identity theft, prostitution. I mean, the list could have went on and on and on, and he wouldn't about telling me that's exactly what they were going to do. He says, look, I need you to talk to these people, and it was the FBI. And I was like, oh, and that's when it got real.
So you always want to make sure that your CI's identity is never disclosed, or that the ABT, in this particular case, doesn't know who your CIs are.
If I was a snitch, that he would torture me himself. He would kill me himself, and that he would spend hours torturing me first.
The ABT confidential informants, for example, a lot of them are hooked on methamphetamine. And you can't really be a confidential informant if you're using narcotics.
If I wasn't using and showing that I was doing drugs, they wouldn't have trusted me.
They're making their approach.
We went after all the generals, and there were 5 generals within the ABT.
Just went through the back fence.
We also indicted a number of majors and captains and essentially all leaders within this organization.
It was the first time in law enforcement history that the RICO had been used to take down the entire leadership of a prison gang that had a nationwide presence.
Welcome back. Another episode of Greenlit Gang TV. Hope y'all having a blessed day. Hope you're having a wonderful week. Really quick though, before we jump into this video, if you could please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and also hype the video up. Seriously, guys, all the continued support is amazing. The growth of this channel has been very, very humbling, to say the least. Lastly, before we jump into this video, I want to talk about the membership program. I'm going to shout out our members, and I'm going to explain a little bit further into how it works. First, at Tasha. Second, at B. Stepanov. Third, at DeBonesy. And the last one, at Swag Mick Swaggerson. Thank you guys for all the support. How the membership program works. I put it up on yesterday's video. I'm going to do it on today's video as well. $3.99 comes with 3 perks as of now. Fan loyalty badges, priority comment replying, and emojis that I handpicked that only members can use. Again, if you're interested in it, I encourage you to check it out. And if you're not, It's all good. Let's get into the video. All right, guys, let's jump right into it. So, give a big shout out first and foremost to one of the best social media and YouTube channels out there, Prison Chronicles. Came across a post of theirs about 4 days ago, 3 or 4 days ago, on this guy, Cody Wayne McCollum from Texas, Aryan Brotherhood of Texas member, and the horrific crimes against children that he committed, including the essay of a 14-year-old girl. But I was like, okay, I'm going to make a video about that, but there were these California prison murders that I also wanted to get caught up on. Knock those out, but I knew I was going to come right back into a video on Cody Wayne McCollum. So here it is for you guys today. We're going to first read from the Prison Chronicles post about the incident, his sentence, kind of how it went down. Then we're going to go into some background about the ABT itself, the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, and then we're going to read from an article regarding the sentence of Cody Wayne McCollum. And the reason, like I said in the intro, this is such a big deal is because obviously the nature of the crimes, they're horrific, they're awful. He needs to be locked up, throw away the key forever and a day, okay? But it's also the fact that he's a certified made member of the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. And I'll say this, it's not a good look. It's just absolutely not a good look. And I feel like you don't have to worry about anyone else getting their hands on him. He doesn't have to worry about somebody else. His own people are going to take care of this. And I saw some posts about, oh, they're going to beat him up, they're going to hurt him. No, I think if they have the opportunity, they will kill him. They will 100% take his life. Not only for the fact of what he did and what was convicted of, that's enough, but the fact that it's all over the media and the fact that these gang members, again, whether you like them or not, or whether you respect them or not, whether you agree with anything or not, they take a lot of pride in their gang and what they've done, the work they've put in to earn that badge, to wear that patch on their skin that says, I'm a made Aryan Brotherhood of Texas member. And for someone like Cody Wayne McCollum, who he's a U.S. Army veteran, he had one way or another earned his stripes, put in work. He's a very, high violent offender. He's got a long criminal record. For him to get these charges and for that gang's name to be drug into the media attached to charges like these, I mean, you leave a comment down below and tell me what you think, but I feel like his own people will take care of him 1,000%. But first, let's start with this post, Prison Chronicles. This was a post on January 19th, 2026. So yeah, just like 3 days ago. Cody Wayne McCollum, born 11/30/1987. They didn't post his birth date. I found that just digging around. Born November 30th, 1987. A Princeton, Texas man has been sentenced to 60 years in prison after a jury found him guilty of sexually assaulting a child. The case started in January of last year when Cody Wayne McCollum, 37, was charged with S-ing a 14-year-old girl in the cities of Anna, Melissa, McKinney, and Princeton. McCollum was a violent repeat offender and gang member of the ABT. Collin County District Attorney Greg Willison said McCollum was just coming off of parole in spring of 2022 when he reconnected with the juvenile and gave her illegal drugs. Reconnected, that's it's disgusting. And then to give you an idea of why it says Anna, Melissa, McKinney, these different towns, because they were together in these different cities and in these different counties. So they're able to charge him with all these different instances of assault. By January of 2024, prosecutors said McCollum was repeatedly S-ing the girl in the 4 Collin County cities. Quote, this violent gang member has finally been held accountable, Willis said in a written statement. Quote, he will never hurt another child again. McCollum was sentenced to 60 years in prison without the possibility of parole. He was sentenced on April 16th, 2025, as we said in the intro. Okay, so a little bit of background on the ABT, the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. The ABT was founded in the early 80s in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice when a group of white Texas inmates petitioned the California Aryan Brotherhood for permission to establish a chapter in Texas. Although the California Aryan Brotherhood refused the request, the Texas inmates still formed the ABT. Since its founding, the ABT has made several attempts to change its name or hide behind the umbrella of a religious organization, such as the Aryan Reich or the Church of the Aryan Christian Heritage. Not gonna lie, that's my first time hearing that. I did not know that. For as many videos as I've made about the ABT, I did not know that they attempted to change their name to that. Although the gang experienced several internal problems and a high dropout rate shortly after these unsuccessful attempts, ABT still remains a formidable group in and out of the Texas prison system. The ABT is led by a steering committee comprised of 5 offenders, each of whom is responsible for specific geographic area and maintains control of the group's activity in and out of the prison system. The steering committee is also responsible for making all rules and regulations for the organization. Although the ABT uses, quote, Aryan Brotherhood in its name, it is not associated with the prison gangs in other state and federal correctional facilities that use the same name. It is considered a Texas prison gang and uses the words of, quote, of Texas to distinguish itself from other similar groups. It should be noted that ABT members are incarcerated in various state and federal prisons. What that means is it's spread, okay? That means it's powerful, all right? That's another way to put that. The fact that it has spread across different states at the federal and state level means that it's growing, all right? And their reach is a lot longer than Texas. The ABT insignia or tattoo depicts a shield with a Nordic dagger running through it. The letters A and B over the top of the shield and the words of Texas located under the shield. All members are given the choice to put on the tattoo or not. Many have chosen to hide or disguise their tattoo in an effort to thwart detection by correctional and law enforcement agencies. So they're getting a little bit smarter about it. But just when they're getting things figured out, Cody Wayne McCollum, 37 of Princeton, sentenced to 60 years, no parole. Quote, violent repeat offender and confirmed member of the ABT. During the trial, jurors learned that McCollum had already served time for multiple aggravated robberies in Bexar and New Essex counties. He was paroled in the spring of 2022, and county officials say he reconnected with the 14-year-old victim and began supplying her with illegal drugs. Court documents show that in January 2024, he SA'd her and Anna, Princeton, McKinney, and Melissa. Officials say in June of 2024, the child told her mother about the abuse, who immediately contacted the McKinney police. During the punishment phase, jurors learned that McCollum had joined the ABT while in prison and remained an active gang member after his release. So he joined when he was doing the violent robberies, because they would have never let him in if it was anything related to what his charges are and now he's been convicted of now. They would have killed him. They would have rolled him up. He wouldn't have even been allowed to be around them. He wouldn't have even been allowed to be in their vicinity with those kinds of charges. Due to his prior felony convictions, McCollum faced 25 to life in prison. The jury sentenced him to 60 years, which must be served, this is important, day for day without the possibility of parole. And basically just went on to talk about the multiple SAs, the drugs, the grooming, all of that awful, awful stuff. So, yeah, absolutely crazy story. Wanted to bring it to you guys today. Not as long of a video, but still think it's an important story to tell. Shout out once again to Prison Chronicles. Until next time, guys. Peace.